Welcome to the Market Me podcast with your host, Mike Mall. Each episode of Market Me deconstructs real campaigns for actual businesses to improve their marketing efforts. Mike is the founder of Social Media House and a digital marketing consultant who teaches marketing strategy to executives and their teams from small business to Fortune 500 companies. Let's get started.
On this episode of the Market Me podcast, we're speaking with Cary Richards of InfoStack. Thank you so much for joining the show today.
Hi, Mike. How you doing? Thanks for being here.
Good, man. I am doing very well. We actually got connected. I actually don't even remember exactly. Maybe someone from your team emailed me, or I can't remember how it was. But I've been a participant in your product before, which is a really interesting. And I'll obviously let you tell the story. But it seems like you guys have this really interesting niche carved out on the internet around education and software and coaching products. So really, really cool. So take me through the company structure and tell the audience about what you do.
Yeah, so what we do, we're actually one of the top couple of discount bundle sites on the web. And so kind of the 2-minute version of it is what we do is we go out in a number of different niches and verticals, and we put together promotional bundles. And so what that looks like is we'll find anywhere between, say, 30 and maybe as many as 45 or so contributor/promotional partners. And so each partner agrees to put something of value into the stack, make it free to the people who purchase the stack for a period of a year. And let me stop there and say that most of what we include in the stack is usually some sort of digital information product, like an e-course or a masterclass or an ebook or something like that. And we want it to be a quote, real product. We want it to be something that has a retail price and its own checkout card and, something that's for sale somewhere. It doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, we prefer it not to be too expensive. And so, but the other thing we'll do, depending on the niche, but we'll usually add in a number of different apps and software and tools and things like that as well. And so we'll curate it all together. We create a sales page and a funnel for it, and we'll launch it usually for just a week. So it's just a real short and intense launch period. And we can build some really good scarcity to urgency that way on it. And then so that plus the really wide price to value ratio on them tends to make them sell really well. And so, there's kind of two main benefits to a contributor getting involved in it. One is the ability to get their name and brand out there in front of just a ton of highly targeted potential customers. For instance, the one we're doing here in the next couple of weeks called the Social Media Marketing Superstack. Right now, we're currently at about 600,000 total reach on it. That's all of the contributors and affiliates lists combined. That's how many emails will be promoted to. And that number will go up. We're still got another week and a half or so of recruiting on that. So, we could get up to 700,000-800,000 total reach on it. So again, opportunity there for someone to get their name and brand out there in front of just a ton of highly targeted potential customers. And the other pretty cool thing is that we request that all the contributors promote the stack to their list. And so we'll give them 70% affiliate commission on the $49 sales price of the stack. So we've had some of our top contributors make, between $30,000 and $50,000 affiliate commission in a launch week. So kind of two main benefits as a contributor is getting their name and brand out there and potentially making a pretty good affiliate payday while they do it.
Awesome. Yeah. And it's such an interesting, it's such a simple sounding model. But the fact that you're carving it into a specific niche. So all of what I've seen in the past, I've seen a couple of companies try and bundle different things together. And what often comes out of it is it's a mishmash of stuff. it doesn't seem like any of it plays well together. It's not
Right.
even on the same subject matter. And I like that you guys
Right.
do it in the, the coaching, and then the health and fitness and the social media. And then it's really curated well to facilitate.
Yes, we spend a lot of time, curating it and wanting it to be very vertical, for each stack. I mean, it's got to be very specifically targeted at our avatar. When we start into a stack, we make an avatar, and we want everybody that's in that stack to be very focused on that avatar.
Got it. And do you use kind of that traditional, demographic, psychographic kind of like, here's like list of 10 things when you're building your, I wasn't going to ask you about this, but you brought it up. So I'm curious about how you guys develop your avatars. Do you have like a standard document that you use? I'm just curious because I'm playing around with it as well.
Yeah, usually what we do is we'll talk about what stack, what niches we want to go after, and then my partner Tom and I will just get on a call and just kind of brainstorm it and just kind of do a little preliminary research about what's out there, and just kind of build that avatar as we go, kind of a thing. Yeah. I don't have a specific list that I use all the time.
Got it. Yeah. If you search for them, there's all kinds of different versions of them. And I get into arguments with people sometimes about how detailed they need to be. In my opinion, if you've got a relatively, couple sentences and you understand what their motivations are, what can get them to say yes, what gets them to say no, where they spend their time on the internet, and what they find valuable, I'm like, that's all you need. And some people try and go like way deeper.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, and we try to have the stacks. I know I was just saying we want them very, very vertical, but within that vertical, we try to have it be relatively broad. So, you know what I mean? So, there's a number of different things, and a lot of people can and have gone into several different stacks with their content. So,
got it. Yeah. So I'm curious about what drives the revenue and the growth for you. Not asking for numbers, but I'm just curious about, so you get a bunch of people that make info products to contribute. They're going to share it out to their lists and their social. And then you guys have your email list of, people that have opted in, former customers, that kind of stuff. And then you said affiliate. And I'm curious about how, like, what percentage do each of those kind of attribute to your goal?
Yeah, that's a good question. So most of, probably, I don't have an exact number, but probably 80 to 85, maybe 90% of the traffic that goes to a particular stack is driven by the participants, is driven by the contributors, right? As weird as it may sound, our model, our goal is not necessarily to build a huge list for ourselves. We do end up with a list, and that list is very responsive because they're all people who have purchased a stack from us, right? But that's not the number one overall driving goal. Our goal is to find good, solid contributors who have good, solid lists and who can promote the stacks to their lists.
Yeah.
And then, and then we don't actively go out and recruit quote regular affiliates, but just in the process of whatever we're doing, we usually end up with anywhere from 5 to maybe 20 regular affiliates on any one stack.
Got it. And then how do you, obviously you want, somebody that's got a high quality, either following or list, and also a good piece of content or good product or good software, or whatever it may be. But how do you internally, like, how do you guys source your contributors?
That's also a very good question. And that's kind of my, in the partnership, that's my, task, is the partnership side and finding those people. And it's not easy. I do have a research assistant that once we have that avatar, I'll give that to her. and she I've spent quite a bit of time working with her, so she knows exactly what we're looking for. And she'll just go out and scour the web and try and find people that have relevant content. It's a very difficult thing to try to identify someone who has a very large responsive list, right? People don't just list that out. Hey, we have a really big list and it's really responsive. Talk to us. So it's a little bit of a hit and miss thing. But we have identified some parameters, that makes it, more possible that they do have a list and a good list, so she has those parameters, and so she'll give me on any one stack. We'll probably do cold outreach to anywhere between 150 and maybe 300 potential contributors. We're to the point now in the business where it's just getting to the point now where we've reached out to enough people and worked with enough people to where in any one stack we can reach out to our existing contributors and probably get at least half the people we need for a stack just from those people. And so the amount of cold outreach we're having to do is getting less and less as we go.
How long have you guys been at it?
We did our first stack on June, I forget the exact date, late June 2018. So it's been just over 2 years.
Got it. And how are you guys thinking about the future? Because I think, the types of content that you're curating and these bundles are becoming, ever more popular and relevant and consumable and to a bigger effect, softwares and tools and stuff. I mean,
Yes.
you should see the list that I have. I've got like 30 different pieces of software that we use to operate the business. One that does, every which task that I don't need somebody to do. So I think a lot of people are adapting big stacks of stuff that they're using, and they're using these methods to learn. So how are you guys kind of picturing it in the future?
Yeah, also a good question. We've talked about a number of different directions to go. I definitely think we're going to keep, at least for the foreseeable future, we're going to keep doing exactly what we're doing. Over the last 2 years, we've had some really, really good stacks, and we've had some decent stacks, and we've had several complete dogs, So we're trying to learn from that and identify the ones the niches and the verticals that resonate really well with a stack like this, and some that don't, right? And we've also talked about probably doing fewer but larger stacks, if that makes sense. And we're also doing, by the way, we're doing this big Black Friday, the Black Friday InfoStack Bonanza Super Stack Dealathon. We haven't come up with an exact name for it yet. And what we're doing is we're going to launch 6 of the most popular stacks that we've done over the last 2 years, all on that one Black Friday week between November 24th and December 1st, I think it is.
Awesome.
And so that's the first time we've done something like that. We're going to see how that works, and maybe we'll do like one thing like that per quarter, where we conglomerate several of the most popular stacks and redo them, kind of in a super stack.
Got it. Yeah, that's really, really interesting. It's I feel like it's still a little bit of a niche overall. I don't think there's that many people doing it. I mean, you do have people that are doing the individual, like you've got your AppSumo, you've got your Stack Social, but that's more of that group on group buy feel, not so much stacks.
Yes, there are some similarities to us, to those guys, but there are definite differences as well. there are only, I don't know, probably a handful of people that are doing exactly what we're doing.
Got it.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm curious about, I mean, you're bringing on really high caliber people, hopefully that have a big list and,
Right.
but, and obviously you can't see that until you see the performance of it. But what I'm curious about, because obviously to get them on board, there's cold outreach, right? Unless it's a direct referral, you guys have had to do a ton of outreach to say, hey, give me content, something that you would typically sell, let me put it into a heavily discounted bundle, and then come and work affiliate. So I mean, it's the branding and the awareness opportunity, great. The revenue opportunity, if they've got a great list, also great. But I'm curious about how you get your yeses, how you use cold outreach. Like, what is your methodology? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll like I say, we'll do cold outreach to them. We get, usually we'll get something in the area of 25-30% positive response from the cold outreach we do.
And is that email? Is that strictly
just for
email?
the first email? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We worked long and hard on crafting that cold outreach email. We've gone through it, literally hundreds of variations of it, and we've got it to where it really works pretty well right now. And then if they are interested, then usually what we'll do, 99% of the time, we'll convince them to get on a call with me, just like we're doing right here, and just sit down and talk to them and get to know what they're doing, what their goals are, what's happening with them, and then I'll explain how we work. And I find that from the emails that we've sent, they'll usually get anywhere from 2 and 3 and 4 emails from us prior to me getting on the call. And by the time I get on the call with them, most of them are pretty convinced that they want to participate. I got probably a 85-90% yes rate once I get on a call with them.
And what do you think that it is about your approach that lands that? Because even if you go back and say 25-30% of the first emails that we send out get a positive response, like that already is pretty insane. How do you attribute it? What do you think it is about your approach, strategy, methodology that brings that? I mean, I would argue your calming voice definitely plays a role. You do have this like very soothing voice to you, but strategically, how do you approach it?
Yeah, interesting question. I'm not sure. I've been in sales all my life. I spent 30 years in corporate sales. So I guess that's just kind of my nature, is just to be able to kind of, we've worked on those emails enough, and they get enough information and are intrigued enough by those emails that they're really positive. They're really, once they get on a call with me, it's mostly just trying to get understand exactly what's going on, and then let's go kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I ever have to. In fact, I don't want to hard sell anybody to get involved with this. You know what I mean? It's something where they have to be really want to and be convinced it's something that's really going to benefit them. It's funny because there's a kind of a line of demarcation where somebody with a really big list, usually their business is to the point where doing a bunch of affiliate marketing is not going to be their main revenue source. So they're not going to get involved probably, with the come on of, hey, you're going to make all of this affiliate commission. They're going to be more of that brand awareness and getting a name and brand out there in front of all the people. And so, and then the people with the really small lists, they may want that affiliate commission, but they don't have enough lists to get it. So there's a real sort of sweet spot right in between there, where you're trying to find a guy with a big enough list, a big enough and engaged list. It's all about engagement. Where they're willing to really go all in and promote, and they've got a big enough list to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. One of the things, so I mean, we've obviously been on that sales call because I've participated, and I'm going to be in the social media one as well. One thing that I noticed in talking to, I think there's a level of confidence with what the product and with what the brand delivers. And there was almost this methodical, calm approach where it's like, I'm not going to push you. I think it's a good decision. And I think you would be a good fit. So I'm just going to leave that with you. And I think it'll benefit both of us. And it was like, oh, it almost makes it a no-brainer because it doesn't feel like there's some pressure to be involved. There's no,
yes. That's what I'm saying. I never want to really hard sell anybody. I mean, here's this thing. It's worked really well for a bunch of people. We think you'd be a good fit. If it's not the right time or it's not a good fit, great. Good luck with what you're doing, and maybe we can connect up in the future. It's really that simple.
So how did you approach it in the beginning when it was like the first couple and you're like, I don't know how this is going to work. Hopefully it's okay. I'm assuming just based on your personality that there was just that level of transparency, but how, thinking about it now where it's established and it works, it's obviously a lot easier, but how did you guys strategize on it near the beginning?
Yeah. I mean, it really was just, we reached out to more people. I'll say that. I mean, we were probably that first one. I probably reached out to 500 people, and then just started getting on calls with them. And I was very transparent. I said, here's this thing we're putting together. We have never done it before, but we think it's going to work really good. Would you be interested in participating? And I think we were lucky in the fact that first one was the Right Published Profit Super Stack, and it was in the writing and self-publishing niche, and we just happened to pick that niche, which is still our biggest and best niche to this day, and we were lucky to pick that one as the first one we did, because we were able to find a lot of people that were very interested in participating, and a couple of probably, I don't know, she was probably the third or fourth person I talked to, who was this one gal who works for or runs software. It's a writing software, and she has like 125,000 people on her list, and she decided, I'm going to go all in on this. And to this day, she's still one of our largest contributors. And she was, like I say, she was probably the third or fourth person I talked to. And so again, it's just luck of the draw on that, just reaching out to a ton of people and starting to talk to people, and I just happened to get the right people on board.
Love it. Very interesting, man. Yeah, like I said, you hear a lot of these kind of one-offs. I'm an AppSumo, like I used to buy their stuff just an excessive amount. I've spent a lot of money with them. But this is interesting, and I've been as a spectator and as a participant, I've enjoyed the brand, and I think you guys are onto something really great. So I thank you for coming on and sharing that. Where can people come in? Where can people come and either check out Stacks, or if they're a content or software person, where can they connect to contribute?
Yeah, so they can go to just infostack.io. Is the main page, and there'll be several links on there where you can see what's coming up, and the next stacks, and or if there's a current stack that's live, and check that out. And then if you'd like to get a hold of me, it's just Cary, Cary at infostack.io, and yeah, give me a ping. I'd love to talk to you and explain what we're doing, and I love to. That's what I do all day, is just get on Zoom and talk to people. So
love it, man. Well, Cary, really appreciate your time, and it was great. We'll be in touch soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike.